Alrighty, guys, welcome back here to Enter the Storm. We're going into round 3 with Cloud9 versus Team Nom, 4-Core Jester. How are you enjoying the Lee Mingus?
Well, I mean, the missile build with the removal of Johan, it's just like I personally in Hero League, I never really get the chance to kind of play a Li Ming with no counters, so I've been a very big fan of the teleport build. But these guys are like, this is Team League. The missile build is not too surprising. It worked out flawlessly. There was 0 deaths from everyone except the Jaina. So, I don't think we're going to see it again.
Yeah, we might not, man. I mean, she's a strong hero, and if Team Nom caught wind of the draft from that last game, I'm sure they checked it out, and they're just like, all right, let's not let them get Li Ming and Jaina in the first rotation, because that is actually nightmarish.
Just a little bit. Double Mage seems to be still okay in terms of some of these higher tier teams, but Triple, I was really hoping to see the Gale Pass just to see what Cloud9 could do with it. But
Cloud9 is one of the few teams that have done really crazy things in the past. Like they've run Flame Strike build with Blizzard build and Globe of Annihilation build, where it's just like this triple burst. And I can imagine Flame Strike Blizzard with Orb, like a max rage Orb build, being equally as scary. So who knows? Maybe we'll see that someday. But we are here in the map pick ban phase, and only Cursed Garden and Sky Temple remain.
Cursed Hollow, Garden of Terror, Sky Temple, I see.
Is that what I said, or did I say something else?
I didn't hear Garden of Terror, but could have been my bad. All good, sir. Don't worry about good old deaf old Jester here. Very likely going to be Cursed. I can't see these guys actually favoring Garden. Actually, if it is going to be Garden, you might see Vikings as a strat from Nom, but no, it's not.
Cloud9 actually really enjoys Garden. At least Dunk Train does. I've talked to him about it recently.
I don't think it was their choice.
No, it was not their choice. So, Team Nom banning out Garden, bringing us to Cursed once again, back-to-back Cursed Hollow, and they're hovering Tassadar. Now, Tassadar's good. He's well-rounded. He's neutral. But I think they're trying to say to Cloud9, why don't you ban Rhaegar or Li Ming and we'll get the other?
That's what Cloud9 just did.
Exactly. So, we'll see if it works out. Probably not. Cloud9 will just ban Abathur again.
So, if they do actually ban Abathur, then both teams are going to get some really overpowered heroes right now. But the Tassadar ban could also, like, the big thing that for me that I'm thinking about there is Illidan synergy.
True.
So Tassadar, Abathur, we've seen that in the past. It's a big map, Abathur for the split soak, and then you just empower Illidan. It's actually been a strategy that's been working in Chair League.
Yeah, it's quite powerful, honestly. But there are ways to shut it down. Abathur banned once again with the Rhaegar first pick, and it's likely just going to be Li Ming Jaina again. It's going to be a very similar game to the last game. Cursed Hollow, Li Ming Jaina. Maybe Team Nom didn't have time to look at their draft because this is deja vu, Jester.
Just a bit. So if Cloud9 do actually pick up their Li Ming, you could see her pair it with K1 Pro and that Jaina again.
Oh, they might not be doing it. They're hovering Zeratul, giving him the priority. And Li Ming, giving up Jaina.
Okay, so Zeratul, Li Ming already taking out the Zeratul counter. This is very similar to what we've already seen from our previous game because Cloud9 did just both run They did just run both of these heroes. Team Nom, though, they do get a chance at a counter mage early on into the draft.
I'll be honest, though, here on Cursed Hollow, especially if you can get Zeratul Li Ming, I'd almost go as far to say that a hero like Falstad could probably have a greater power. So considering Cloud9 has Falstad on the table for them, K1 was the only one to die in that last game. I could easily see him going for Falstad next. Cloud9 hovering that ban on Muradin. Thinking which warrior they don't want to pick right now.
Well, ETC, if it's going to be held true that Cloud9 doesn't want to go Johanna, then Team Nom might be able to actually ban out something here to force them into the Johanna.
It's true. If they ban ETC, it certainly could be a Johanna pickup. It's not that King Caffeine is incapable of playing Johanna by any means. It's more stylistically he does not enjoy the hero as much as he likes to play a hero like Muradin or ETC.
Now, I'm actually more of a fan of actually putting the Johanna with the Jaina, especially if you had Li Ming. I really thought that would have been a pretty good combo for them because the gather up into the Blizzard and then you just disintegrate or Magic Orb or missiles, and, well, things just evaporate. Cloud9 is still also on deck here for Asmodan. Arthlon
That's
is
true.
kind of the progenitor of that one, and it can still pack a good punch, especially with that combo. But when it comes to the bans, Team Nom is actually running down their time a pretty decent amount here, trying to figure it out. Looks like the Falstead's up for the elimination, and they don't want to get gusted.
That's really smart. I think Cloud9 would have picked up Falstead for sure if he wasn't banned out here. I like that pick a lot. For the ban, with Muradin being banned out, Cloud9 is signaling, hey, look, this is the warrior we're not grabbing, so we're going to grab our next best option, ETC. Johanna, incredibly unlikely. Stitches, I would give him a good chance if he wasn't banned out for the event globally due to the issue that exists in custom games where you send a hook out from the fog of war that causes the game to lag significantly for some players, not all. It's a very strange bug.
All right, so there's the ETC. Could we go, if we are going to go double mage, this is where Kael'thas comes into it. You could just absolutely leave your healer for last. They already have a Rhaegar on the flip side, and there's no more bans, so there's not really a huge amount of onus onto that support pick. But you could also just take a support now and leave your last for a counter, but that will just give Team Nom kind of just free reign to whatever else they want for their combo.
All right, well, they're thinking hard about it. I mean, Kael'thas would be a fine pick, that's for sure.
It looks like they might, yeah, they are going to take their support now, so they're going to leave that for a counter. In terms of a counter, Vala's still up there, Sylvanas if they want to get some early push going. Lunara is actually still in a pretty good spot. She's no longer really lose-Nara. She has risen in her win rates quite significantly.
They've buffed her a lot, and I would actually
Really
be...
have.
I'd be mostly okay with it for Team Nom. Running triple ranged is definitely fallen off in favor, but if there's ever a case to do it, it's a situation where you have a lot of control with those two ranged. Jaina, she's all about slows. Lunara, very slow oriented. And then you have, the Hydralisks and just the sustained damage of Zagara could absolutely be a good play style, but I don't know if Cursed Hollow is the best map for that style of play. I see that having much more impact on something like Battlefield of Eternity.
So Johanna Jaina, again, is just an absolutely deadly combo. If this isn't a Thrall, I'd be a little surprised.
Oh!
It will be sort of a hybrid between the melee and the range aspect, but Greymane gets some play here today.
We've got the Wolf Life. We've got the Rhaegar. We've got the Greymane. This is the dream. Wolf Boys unite. I'm so excited for this game suddenly.
So Vala, Lunara, or Kael'thas are really the kind of top three I'm looking for here. There's no Abathur pick, so you're not going to have anything weird. Could you go Vikings with this? I'm not entirely sure that you couldn't. Li Ming and Zeratul for the setup, ETC and Toronto to keep them going. Li Ming by herself as a cannon could lead you into some really fun picks, but I don't know how fun Cloud9 wants to get with this.
Double support.
There's the Brightwing.
I love it. I love it. I love watching Dunk Train play Brightwing. Could be Arthalon on Tyrande here. They'll probably put K1 Pro on the Li Ming, so we'll get to see maybe a different style of Li Ming. Zeratul will be played by K1 Pro, King Caffeine, of course, on ETC, and Dunk loves that Brightwing. She's a mobile beast, man.
I just don't get to see her ever at all.
She's so fun.
It's gonna be a treat. So the blow up potential from Team Nom, is that enough to defeat the Tyrande Brightwing?
Possibly, but it's going to be tough. I mean, Tyrande Brightwing, especially post 10, it's a lot of sustain on those two heroes, and there's a lot of power. You think about just the lockdown potential from the two heroes alone. Sure, there's a lot of blow up. But they've got Polymorph, Lunar Flare, and they've got ETC for those big dive-ins, and of course, VP late game as well. So there's a good bit of control here on the map, and when it comes to control on the Team Nom side, sure, they've got the slows and the Blessed Shield and the Maw, but it definitely isn't, there's not as much. They just have Burst. And as good as Greymane is at bursting, he's more of like an executioner. He's good at finding those low health heroes and eliminating them. And I'm curious to see how well it's going to work, because I've never seen a duel between Greymane and Li Ming.
I'm not entirely too sure who really wins that one, but Greymane can't get spell block, at least not that I can think of off the top of my head. Li Ming can, but she doesn't get block, so it's really kind of two opposites of that coin, isn't it?
It's true. Well, we're going to have to see exactly how this is all going to go down. Ladies and gentlemen, round 3 here. and the 6th qualifier in Enter the Storm North America #2 with Cloud9. Semifinals, yeah, you're right. This is quick.
Yeah. You rapid fire off the best of ones. It's, call it about half hour a game. We started at 3. It's going into the third one here at 4:42. So a little bit more than a half hour, a little bit of a break between them, but still good rapid fire action here, and Cloud9 really putting out those numbers. Would you like to do your Cloud9 team, sir?
I actually want to do the other team. I have a reason for it.
Then King Caffeine will once more be our ETC. Dunk Train this time is not Brightwing. That's probably a Battle Wing coming in. He'll be Tyrande. Arthalon is our Brightwing.
Nice.
iDream is our Zeratul. And K1 this time will show us what he wants to do with that missile build Lee-Ming.
All right, only 2 Cloud9 mounts. I'm a little disappointed by that. On the right side, it is Team Nom. We've got Zugrug on Johanna, Subnova playing Jaina, Wrath playing Zagara, and then we have the Dog Police, Dan playing as Rhaegar, and then, of course, Greymane on Deadly Ice. If you've ever frequented my stream and you know the song Dog Police, I'm sorry.
Bark, bark.
Bark, bark.
What was iDream doing there? iDream got blinded and immediately just tossed a curveball with that singularity strike.
So we're seeing Viciousness picked up over Wolfheart. Generally speaking, we see one or the other talents picked up here for Greymane at level 1. Stylistically, this allows you to just keep that momentum rolling when it comes to the Berserk there on Greymane. And beyond that, everything's pretty standard. We're actually seeing Force Armor once again for Lee-Ming. Maybe Cloud9 has decided it's all about Magic Missile builds, or maybe we'll see a different style here out of K1 Pro.
There's not... I mean, the dive is sort of there with that Greymane, but it's really going to be dicey. He doesn't have anyone to kind of follow him through.
Wow, beautiful initiation onto Zugrug. The knockback was held until Iron Skin wore off, but Zugrug will actually get away. iDream having to blink at the last moment, and Dan with Feral Heart on cooldown. Oh, Deadly Ice gets the hit, barely not getting the kill on iDream. Gilnean Cocktail just a little bit shy of the kill.
Now, the problem with Deadly Ice coming in up here and not getting a kill is that he doesn't actually have any sustain into this bottom lane. Now you can see Arthalon just trying to deny. That was about 3 minions worth of experience.
At least, I mean...
Yeah. So. It's not the worst. It's not the end of the world, but it's just a little bit. And because they didn't get the kill, it wasn't really worth it.
It was close enough to say that it was definitely justified because of how close it was. But, well, we do see the Wolf Boys pushing out the bottom lane in response to try to open up that opportunity to potentially rotate once again. We have this party bush here, Subnova and Zagreg, just waiting for a moment, but realizing nobody's coming down for the rotation, they back down to mid, where they have to soak the wave of minions rather quickly.
Trying to gank Zagara, who basically gets all this just free detection with those creep tumors, it can be rather frustrating.
Yeah, it's not an easy task, that's for sure. But man,
I
love modern day Brightwing just because of her ability to hold a lane. In the past, she really struggled with this, but ever since they buffed Arcane Flare a bit, she's holding her own against Greymane. And although Greymane's not necessarily like the strongest laning here in the game, he's still good. Oh man.
Yeah, Greymane got rotated on as you were doing the virtues there of the Brightwing. But you're not wrong. Incorporating... This is... she was the first hero, I think, to get that incorporation kind of treatment. Because Arcane Precision was folded into the skill itself.
Right. Which is just, it's helped her out
now,
so
Rhaegar's
much.
had the lunge. So who knows what's in the future.
All right, well, we do have that first tribute of the game. Just a moment away. Wrath is taking way too much damage, and that is lights out for him. A nice execution there from iDream and K1 Pro. We do see Deadly Eyes just scoping it out. They are rather low, so they need to be worried about that Greymane's power. They're just going to tap the well and re-engage with the rest of the team.
That was just perfect timing from iDream as well. There was no creep detection until they basically met in the bush, and the team over right then and there.
Okay. Yeah, both teams just pacing around. Remember, Brightwing does have that global presence now, finally face shifting in after soaking that lane down bottom and going to give the team all that sustain. Tyrande was doing quite well, but we do see the experience difference. Even just losing a wave of 2 of minions and losing 1 to 2 kills, it adds up quick. And ETC in the back with a power slide, pulling them in, but the blizzard for the disengage is quite nice. Now ETC's a little overextended, taking damage from the tower, will end up falling here.
Now, iDream is here as well, just trying to bring down Zugrug as much as he can. So the Johanna-Jaina combo, again, I think is just absolutely great for a lot of these matchups. She goes in with that Condemn. You get off some good damage from Subnova. You'll see it's not Frost bolts for our Jaina this time.
Yeah, it is actually a very different style, going for a very classic Jaina build with Conjurer's Pursuit and Snowstorm.
So if this keeps up, we are going to hit level 7 from Cloud9. If
Yeah.
we can't get this tribute before then, we might actually just have to back off out of it. But
Well, ETC's
still,
back.
This is a good amount of space. Oh, the piercing arrow.
A big power slide in as well. The Sentinel does get the Pierce, but we have Deadly Eyes going into the backline. Known for his melee assassin play, his Greymane looks ferocious in there onto K1 Pro, but they can't get the kill. The saves from Arthalon, and the magic missiles will pick him off. Deadly Eyes robbed of his pick off, and Dan will fall next, but the tribute did go the way of Team Nom.
So they got the tribute and they lost Deadly Ice. You could actually say the Deadly Ice was the distraction that they needed. But as soon as level 7 ticked, Arthalon just started the teleport on top of K1 Pro, got himself the phase shield. If that had happened 10 seconds earlier, it would have been a deadly min.
2 seconds earlier. I mean, that was so clutch from Arthalon to getting their last moment to save K1 Pro. But, you know, Deadly Ice looked rather scary on that Worgen, I gotta say.
Now, here's the first variation of our Li Ming. It is Calamity at level 7 instead of our magic missiles. So could be the Illusionist build, especially if they are going to be very worried about Greymane jumping into the back and destroying her. Calamity is very likely to be followed up with Illusionist into Diamond Skin.
Yeah, it's so strong, man. Like, it's my absolute favorite way to play the hero right now. She just, watching a Shadow Assault Zeratul versus a Li Ming with that style of play is actually just hilarious. But Greymane could be a very similar situation. Zughrug, does he able to channel this? No, the Singularity Spike just barely denying him the channeling of this tribute, and the Lunar Flare goes out next. Dunk Train will have the Owl ready before the capture, and there it goes, stalling even further. What are they waiting for? They will not have level 10. They're just buying as much time as they can while Brightwing is soaking that top lane effectively, and they continue to stall. Really impressive here from Cloud9, just taking their experience lead a whole level up.
Just like a piercing bolt from our frost bolts, having that piercing owl, just absolutely, you can't do anything about it. You stand in front of him, doesn't matter. You just take the extra damage. So that was a really good soak and poke coming out right there from Cloud9. That puts them a whole level ahead and a little bit more. This next tribute will be level 10 for them, and it's probably just going to be going straight into their pockets.
Yeah, it's really good, but it is 2-0 in terms of tribute count so far for Team Nom, so that is definitely a big win for them.
Into their pockets.
Yeah, exactly. Because if they won the next tribute, they could net them a pretty big advantage, but of course, being down level 10 could definitely make things a bit risky in this next part. Level 10 now being reached, let's see what they pick up.
Jaina at level 7 is very afraid of iDream, takes Frost Armor to try to help control some of that burst and apply that chill for free. So it is, again, a very different kind of style of Jaina than what we saw in our last round. Snowstorm is the only common talent between them.
Yeah, this is a pretty classic Jaina build, though. Just the throwback. In terms of heroics, we have Blink Heal with Shadowstalk, Double Sustain with the Mosh Pit for the big combos, especially following up after a Void Prison and Potential Disintegrate for the massive, massive damage. We see King Caffeine did go in there, not able to land a big combo as Dunk missed the Lunar Flare and the disengage is there, but this tribute, level 10's not that far away. So
yeah, you're not going to lose anything if you just give this tribute out.
It's true, but I think they could stall it if they really wanted to. They've got Johanna. She can throw that blind over the wall. Zugro getting into position for that. Sentinel will reveal that King Caffeine's going up here for the pushback. And, oh, yeah, that means they cannot get this tribute.
Arthalon iDream. Arthalon doesn't even have to leave this top until he's absolutely needed. But yeah, as I said, you don't lose anything if you don't go to this tribute. And I don't really think this, gang up here into the mid is really going to be worth it. You really wanted to try to push down with that Zagara into the top. If you could have even gotten Arthalon, it would have been icing on the cake, but instead they lose out their Zagara. It's 2-1 for the tributes, so we're still a little bit far off in terms of picking up anything. iDream has gone the same build again as well for the Zeratul. Has that follow through after the Vorpal Blade.
Yeah, it's become rather prominent for Zeratul players ever since the changes. I mean, Vorpal Blade, it's kind of like having crazy mobility options, right? You get Wormhole 13, you've got Vorpal Blade, so suddenly Zeratul is very slippery and can really, really mess with, your opponent's decision-making as to what they might think you might do.
Have you ever played StarCraft Legacy of the Void? And yeah, like the co-op missions, you can actually get some summonable Dark Templars that just go all the way through the map, and it's kind of like playing like that.
They make that exact sound?
Some more or less.
That is quality.
Yeah. So playing like that, as you said, crazy mobility, and you really do get a sense of some of the skill then of iDream and that Zeratul.
Okay, fourth tribute of the game, 2-1 in favor
13 though.
Of Team Nom. And yes, level 13 is around the corner from Cloud9. Just about one minion will do it, and there it is. The initiation from Deadly Ice. He's pretty far forward, though, in the power slide forward. A very early Ancestral Heal used, but Divine, we have a big Ring of Frost going down onto that Maw, not really doing enough damage to actually burn through the health pool of VTC. Greymane dives in, power slide out from King Caffeine, and he's able to live just barely, but Deadly Ice is able to get out as well. Close trades, but the curse is picked up by Team Nom. Beautifully done.
The Zagarma at the same time as the Void Prison really did kind of negate a lot of the power from both sides. If they had caught with that Ring of Frost, the Eye Dream, it probably would have been a kill.
A nice mosh from King Caffeine, but no one is remotely there to even follow it up, so it ends up being a complete waste. And now King Caffeine actually needs body blocks from Dunk Train, both of them. In a bad spot, Sprint going out from Dunk, to get out of there. That's why we see Sprint picked up sometimes by Toronto players. Very useful.
Zugrug's going to go for the Eye here just to make sure that they're not getting flanked, but they're not because Arthlon and iDream are actually pushing against the curse. Li Ming down into the bottom. K1 Pro's able to clean up, no problem. We get one for it. We still got 20 seconds left. I'm rather surprised they are opting to go for this mid push instead of the boss.
Yeah, I mean, they need level 13. This will get them level 13, so they're just kind of cutting their losses and going for it, but they might not even get the fort here. King Caffeine steps forward. iDream waiting for the flank here just below, and they're well aware of that fact. The curse will expire as the minions get here to the wall, but really not the most powerful curse in the world.
No, we've definitely seen better, but it will, as I said, almost get them to the 13. They will get it from the trickle in this bottom push, especially with the tower there up for grabs. Puts us onto the even talent tier. At the 20-second mark, it's kind of like the sweet spot. Yep. If you know everyone's on map, you can actually go for your boss in a pretty safe fashion at the 20-second mark.
Okay, well, we do see the giant camp will be picked up here by Cloud9 to push out the top lane, which was pushed out severely from the push. And level 13 talents, Earth Shield has become oftentimes the go-to. It's not necessarily a guaranteed by any means, but ever since the change to make it 15% of the health of that hero, it is quite powerful.
Yeah, well, they also moved it from level 7, so they had to buff it.
That is a good point.
Goes out great for your tanks, though, especially Muradin in Avatar form or Diablo with the Soul Stones. It really does go a long way to keeping you alive. Now, no bosses as of yet here at the 11-minute mark. If you recall, the first game in Cursed Hollow was actually the 14-minute win for Cloud9. So Team Nom has really put up some good numbers. Yes, they're still behind, but they're going to be 14 by the time Cloud9 hits 16. And, well, that's a little bit more of a depressing number.
It's true. You know, I love this. We do see the Creep Trooper now finally being eliminated, but the Sentinel had just gone out. And the moment that the vision provided by the Owl expired, we see that they start working on the boss. But another Owl goes out, catches wind that this boss is being picked up. Way too late for Cloud9 to respond at this point, and a great pickup here by Team Nom.
Now, they don't actually have that top fort for defense, so the boss is going to go straight to keep. Are we going to be looking for a fight? I really wouldn't expect it here from Team Nom. They're probably just going to leave that to push and try to either snipe out the mid fort or go for that next boss. There's a tribute spawning bottom as well, so they should have some pretty superior positioning for it.
I mean, they could probably pressure the mid four and grab the tribute, honestly, because it's going to be 3 heroes here defending this boss. Cloud9 opting to actually, they're going to leave just Brightwing up here. Arthlon can phase shift in, so he'll be able to handle it, and Cloud9 will be getting down there to stall this out. The Sentinel from afar, stalling Zugrug. iDream will be in position. Oh, he goes in deep, and he does get the stall.
It's full Sentinel build, by the way. That's critterized for the vulnerability polymorph, and it's actually not diamond skin for Li Ming.
That's interesting.
She's just happy enough for Illusionist.
I mean, it's going to give him a lot of mobility and sustain for sure to just be able to get away. He doesn't. They did nerf diamond skin by 5% from 25% to 20% shield, but it's still very good. But mirror ball, we saw the power of that in last game. Can't really blame him for picking it.
Well, the decision as well. I mean, they're 2 levels up. At this rate, in terms of the fights, they're up 5 kills to 1. The only person that has died has only done so once. So if you're feeling that you're not really that pressured, you don't actually have to go into the diamond skin.
It's true. Well, We'll see if the choice pays off. They have 16 over 15 and they're working on a boss, but the pings to fall back are coming out. Cloud9 backing off of the boss. They're trying to keep it leashed just barely as King Caffeine is going around for a rotation. Sentinel revealing. Zugrig going on in. The boss going to stop, forcing Offline to just step away for a moment. And King Caffeine coming around the back. Cloud9 is a bit split, but even more split is Team Nom. And the mosh pit will not be canceled. It actually gets canceled last moment. Maw on 2 targets. Can they turn this around? Cloud9 in a bit of a weird spot due to that Maw. Sprint has to be used on Dunk Train. A big Sentinel hitting 3 targets, but is it enough damage? King Caffeine not able to peel, so VP has to be used. Ring of Frost completely whiffs. And the Poly going down with the Criterize blows up Greymane in quick succession.
If you think about it, we have 2 sources of vulnerability, and as soon as that Void Prison went down and the Ring of Frost hit nobody, this fight was basically done right there. Deadly Ice getting caught as well. I mean, nowhere near his team. You VP the team, you kill out the Deadly Ice, and well, this should now be a free boss here for Cloud9. They can give up this tribute. Not that they look like they're going to. Arthalon is making his way up there, but even if they had given it up, it still aces down a better trade.
Yeah, I would have to agree. All right, well, the boss is there. Brightwing working on the tribute. Arthalon, bit of a bad spot here. He pops the pixie dust. He's looking to dodge whatever he can, but the Greymane damage is coming out. Shadowstalk, is it enough? They're turning around, but they cannot stall it out.
Yeah, so they did actually lose it out. Still, better trade. That boss is going to start working on this fort. And if you think about it, Cloud9 actually hasn't taken a fort yet.
True.
They've taken a lot of gates, but they haven't actually taken a fort. And there's no mule here. It's just they have not really been able to generate that push.
Well, level 16 is still not quite here for Team Nom, and that's why you see Cloud9 just kind of pushing forward, grabbing this watchtower, putting themselves into the jungle of Team Nom, if you will.
All right, 18 to 15. We still need one more little bit of level here to get to that even talent tier. This could be some pretty good experience going towards that level 20 mark here for Cloud9. I don't expect them to get the keep, but towers, Li Ming, yeah, short work.
Short work. Well, yeah, that's 1,300 experience they'll pick up if they manage to secure the other tower, but it's actually got a little bit of health left, and they're not willing to make the poke happen because there is a curse available here in the bottom half of the map.
Now, this is something that, especially in quick match, don't linger for the towers, get the curse, then get the tower. Like, the benefits is just out of this world compared to losing a fight and then losing the curse.
Really good responsive from Zugrig, popping the Iron Skin very quickly as soon as he sees ETC going forward, denying the combo of the Lunar Flare Power Slide and, you know, could be death even for Johanna. But the curse is picked up here for Cloud9, and Arthalon never left the top lane, so that is a very dead fort.
So they push out the top. The bottom has already been pushed in there as well. iDream could even just snipe out that tower if they really wanted it. Now they're marching on to that level 20. If they do get 20 by the end of this curse, that's a 3.5 level lead that these guys have accrued, plus those final Storm tier talents. And Arthalon again, I really thought this would be a Battle Wing, but it's definitely more of just the Owl build here from Tyrande. It's been working out really good for the poke here in this game.
Yeah, Owl build, I mean, just when interrupting tributes alone, it has its value, but it does a lot of damage late game as well. We could actually see Rewind at 20 on Tyrande. We see Rewind for Brightwing, double Poly, which means double Criterize, which means Hunter's Mark, Criterize. That is nightmarish.
3 rewinds? 3 rewinds? Oh.
No, the dream. I like the style, though. Yeah, the move speed is very fun.
Is that Tour Bus? It is.
It is. Good call. Tour bus picked up for ETC. Now, I will say that level 16, you know, is now here on the side of Team Nom, and with Northern Exposure paired with the Concentrated Blast, that is significantly more burst potential on their side of things.
Right. But 3 levels down now. Team Nom, I mean, they're pretty much just forced to their side of the map. There's so many mercenary camps now available. But Cloud9, King Caffeine's keeping an eye on that top boss. We have Zeratul and Brightwing able to take down these Siege Giants into the bottom lane. And, well, they're going to get at least the well, if not more. And everybody else is just kind of dancing around and wasting the time here of Team Nom. As long as they don't defend some of these pushes, okay. Cloud9 favors.
Ancestral Heal used to keep Wrath topped off there, but K1 Pro did spend Disintegrate, but we're talking an 80-second cooldown versus a 20-second cooldown, so I say that's a nice win there for Cloud9, and they do have 20 over 17 still. Looking at this boss as a juicy option, is it a throw pit? I don't think so. With Tour Bus, this is more than safe to do.
Yeah, but Greymane, again, had to respond to the bottom lane. Otherwise, those Giants might have actually taken more than just that well. So showing at least 2, if not 3 on the map, and they're all in their base, it's the safest boss you can get.
Okay. Nice big Sentinel dashing on through. Doing a good chunk of damage. Mirror Ball chunking through that tower. Well, it's like 3 shots and it takes out a tower. That is actually insane.
iDream thinking of going in. Does he have that wormhole? He does. We did get Arthalon putting a shield on him. That's a 20-second shield. Kind of expected to see some aggression coming out, but he's just content to take out walls. Wow, Wrath. Wrath is a big target.
Yeah, took a lot of damage there. Ancestral not ready for another 15 seconds on the Rhaegar, and the VP goes down as iDream is in a bit of a weird spot. Again, this Cigar is so low. The Arcane Flare does get the kill, and that is sufficient for them to keep on pushing. Subnova getting hit by that Disintegrate. The 60% slow, quite powerful for Cloud9, and they're trying to end it here.
I think they will actually have this one in the bag. Any more kill resets and Li Ming will just be able to win it for them. And Polymorph, that's it. Zeratul actually does drop, but not before Jaina, and K1 Reset City brings Deadly Ice down real low.
Wow!
Wow!
Double go for the throat, going in from Deadly Ice with a huge concentrated blast out of the Gillian Cocktail, and they're trying to turn it, but the Mosh Pit Ancestral Heal is keeping Deadly Ice standing. Tour Bus to try to escape the concentrated blast. Not quite enough damage because he didn't have it empowered, but we have Dan trying to secure one more pickoff. It is a 3v3, but Cloud9 low on the health pools, low on the mana. Can they make this happen? Deadly Ice a little bit lagging behind here.
They're going for it.
They hold. That's what matters.
Did not expect the double go for the throat actually to work out so well right there. I really expected Li Ming to kind of just blow up the Greymane as soon as Subnova did go down, but it didn't happen. Team Nom again showing their chops. 2 tributes now to their name. They only lost the 1 keep, and that experience gain plus this now soak is actually going to put them on even talent tiers for the next fight.
I just have to give huge props to Deadly Ice. I love watching him on Jaina. Zeratul is like one of my favorite pastimes at this point, but now Greymane, and he's making Greymane look like an absolute beast, not only with the go for the throat, but just, you know, the Gillian Cocktail build, which is the classic in Europe and pretty darn common in Asia as well. Quite powerful.
Yeah, we got those level 20s. In terms of Worgen, is that Worgen Splash?
Yeah, the Hunter's Blunderbuss. It's also pretty standard for the yeah, it's the human range attack splash, yeah. It's very, very good. And then Storm Shield is going to give them a lot more sustain as well. Burst sustain, AoE sustain, something that Rhaegar needs.
Well, King Caffeine's going to go looking here, but as soon as he sees that creep, I'm not entirely too sure that was the best of ideas, Zugrug.
That's true. They see it actually spawning. Ooh, wrong button, rip the dream, and a huge Disintegrate going out. Power Slide forward, Lunar Flare does connect, but Ice Block has been cast by Subnova, and he's able to back out. Ancestral Heal has to be used, and remember, they have increased that cooldown to 80 seconds in this patch or 2 ago, so now that is definitely a big heroic on cooldown.
Pokes and pokes. You can't you got to fight this one, Team Nom. You can't actually backdoor this tribute. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, even the Mirror Ball's coming through, doing a lot of poke. The Disintegrate being used once again. They can initiate so safely with a Lunar Flare, and Zeratul goes in, but he gets pulled in by Johanna and very low. But the damage is done. Zagara ends up falling. A nice pick off there from Cloud9. They just need to get those health pools back on top and look for the re-engage. With iDream having the shield on him, he might look for an opportunity, but until he has stealth, he's not going to feel it. Zugrug slowed in the front, taking a lot of damage, but is able to be topped off from the heals.
King Caffeine has a mosh. You expect to just watch them fall over like dominoes here. But they're not even going to give him a chance. Team Nom now retreating. The focus on Zagara means no Maw. It's still up.
A big VP. The shield coming off here for Zeratul, and iDream's going to drop it. Oh, no, he misses the timing. Lunar Flare does not connect. The nice low is going to go off. Ring of Frost just connecting on ETC, but it's not enough to burn him down, and Jaina will fall. We do see it's going to be another kill. K1 Pro going to try to follow this up because the reset from each kill he picks up, and yes, this could be the whole team going down.
Yeah, as soon as you get those resets, we didn't even need to use the Mosh there. King Caffeine had plenty of options to do it. Doesn't even need it. K1's going to come in. He doesn't actually have the mana for another ult. It doesn't matter. It's a 5-man cleanup. Zagara's going to come back and Maw, but that's just not going to be enough to hold.
Well played by Cloud9. But I gotta say, Team Nom, they really made a comeback. I did not think they were gonna hold in the keep from that push in the top lane. They held on, they showed the Greymane power in this match, but Cloud9 will be advancing to the finals.
Really, again, showing us the power of those missiles. It wasn't full missiles, but at the level 7, getting the damage and then the Illusionist. The range, I feel, is very important for definitely a lot of juking around on this one.
I mean, how many times did we see like crazy jukes from getting over the wall, utilizing Illusionist? We saw Brightwing blink healing after. So we'd see Li Ming getting out of a bad spot, and then Brightwing would utilize Li Ming to get out of a bad spot as well. And that's really fun play. I mean, that's definitely a cool style. Double support from Cloud9. Maybe it's something they're preferencing right now. Because we've seen them run Brightwing Tassadar recently, and now we've seen Brightwing Tyrande. So.
You say double support, but Tyrande is, I mean, she's a little bit of a weaker version of the Rhaegar. You can't do, you know, the top numbers and everything, but she did 50k healing, which is not that different than the Brightwing, who went full support.
Yeah.
But she also did 42,000 damage. She was number 2 on the team, even higher than Zeratul.
True. She probably could have topped the healing numbers if she didn't go for sprint, but so many North American Tyrande players do prioritize for sprint just because of...
Those owls.
Yeah. Owls for days, my friends.
Yep.
The Hedwig Postal Service
So
is
Tyrande was more of an assassin hybrid, I think.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. She's always been valued for that with Lunar Flare and Hunter's Mark, but still, very cool out of Cloud9.
5 deaths on Zagara. She was just such a big target.
She is a big target.
She is a big target. Yeah.
Let us actually...
You just call Zagara fat?
I did.
Team Blaze and THC Black are still duking it out, it seems.
Okay.
So, do I have any of them on my friends list? I might.
I certainly do, but I'm holding out. Well, guys, on that note, we know Cloud9 will be advancing to the finals of this match. Their opponent will either be Team Blaze or THC Black. Now, Blaze and THC Black, they've both been playing phenomenally. I'd say I put Blaze as my favorite for this matchup just because that team is also very much on the rise, and they qualified in qualifier number 2, if I'm not mistaken.
You can't throw that one at me.
No, I think it was Blaze and Tempo Storm that qualified in Quali 2, if I'm not mistaken.
They're apparently on Tomb of the Spider Queen again.
They're duking it on Tomb, huh? Okay.
Yeah. Zagara ban into ETC ban. Zeratul and Lunara bans. But there's no Li Ming pick.
Yeah. Maybe some teams just haven't practiced too much with her since she has been banned for all the events prior to this. Or maybe they're trying to hide their super secret esports strategies for the upcoming regionals event happening in LA this coming week. Who knows?
Give it Cho'Gall. Blaze has a Cho'Gall in that match.
Cho'Gall's not actually, he's totally viable, especially on a map like Tomb.
But that's 2 wins then for Blaze on Tomb of the Spider Queen.
So maybe Cloud9 will avoid that map.
I'm going to go back to Hots and Bothered. Okay, they didn't Cho'Gall there. I was going to say, could this be like a secret strat right there?
No. We will find out, guys. We're going to go to a quick commercial break to get ready for the finals. It is a best of 3 in the finals of this event, and we'll be back in just a few. Remember, if you're a follower of the channel, you're eligible to win another Magni Muradin code, which will be going out during this commercial break. So stay tuned for that, and we'll be back in just a few.